colleagues, ladies and gentlemen at home and abroad, members of the diplomatic corps and international community, good evening. The time we are talking is around 7 p.m. Bangladesh time, around 2 GMT, on the 7th of January 2014, a historic day for Bangladesh. In 2011, on the same day, a teenage girl called Felani has been shot dead at the border district of Kurigram by the Indian Border Security Force. It's a historic day and widely, nationwide celebrated as a Felani Day. It's a day and at the same time a national election in 2014 is being held. So it signifies how a lifeless body of a teenage girl has been hanged over the barbed wire by the Indian forces in 2011. In the same way, our security, our sovereignty and national interest has been put on questions by this regime in 2024. So we stand here to update what happened on this day of farcical, lopsided and Potemkin election organized and produced by the Election Commission and the administration of this regime. If I may confirm that from our own election monitors team across the country, we receive reports more than thousands of polling stations and centers. It is our understanding and findings that no more than 5% of the voters turned up at the polling station. However, what the Election Commission and the regime had been announcing that around 40% of the voters had turned out, which we consider an absurd and outside lie. And it simply cannot happen. All the photos and photographs and the videos that we have received doesn't support, except if the animals, the dogs and cats, the monkeys and the sheep are being counted as voters at the polling stations. Simply that numbers cannot add up. We have seen how money has been forced to falsely queuing up at the polling stations by the ruling party supporters for hours after hours. False polling agents has been put in the different polling booths by the same ruling party, and there are video evidence to that effect. We have seen how a climate of fear and intimidation had been created over the last few days leading up to the elections. In different places, the marginal, the poor, the less well-off people had been forced to attend the polling stations unless their welfare benefits would be cut off by the regime. That was the kind of fear had been created over the last few weeks and months. We have seen how internet, mobile, has been slowed down last few days. Manav Jameen, one of the leading newspapers of the country, has been shut down last night at a very critical moment when they have been exposing the national betrayal staged by this regime over the days and nights. We have seen endless violence last night. We have seen money has been distributed in different places, so the voters in the morning hour can rush to the polling stations. We have seen how false election results had been signed out even before 4 p.m. The polling counting should have been done. So this is the kind of circus, the staged election done by this regime. And we have been deprived, this nation, of 200 million, and the third consecutive in a row that nobody was allowed to participate as a voter in a free, fair, credible election. At this critical time, we remember tens of thousands of opposition activists and the leaders who are in the prison, who have been convicted falsely, who have been living in hiding, tens of millions of leaders. Our sympathy, and we confirm to them that we stand by those who have been victims of oppression for last 10, 15 or 17 years. We let our international friends know that as an Indo-Pacific nation, Bangladesh simply cannot afford to backslide from the democratic path, from the path of rule of law and human rights, from the path of the Western rule-based international order that we have committed and pledged during our War of Independence. We have confirmed that how the illiberal troika, India, China and Russia had robbed this nation and worked together with this regime to deprive us from a free, fair election. We condemn their attempted interference for the last few years or so. We expect anyone to stand by democracy in the world to understand how those countries have been playing the false games in our lands. We reject them. We reject to stand by this regime, and we warn the regime that until a free, fair, credible election is held, our struggle for democracy, our struggle for human rights, our struggle for a free, fair, credible election would continue. It is interesting that no credible election observers attended this time around. European Union, America and other international observers declined, including the United Nations, to attend and observe our election. So this has put the regime in awkward position, and what they have done, they have invited and arranged a 5-star package for the zombie monitors that we call. That they have come here for a 5-star travel package, living in a 5-star hotels with a $10,000 cash to pay off their mortgage and the rent hours in America and Europe. These are not election monitors. They are paid off agents, and we invite the international community of European and American nations to investigate who are those betrayers of democracy, who are the citizens of your country, have come all the way only to receive some 2 pies, pay dollars and pounds to betray and demonize our election struggle, our democratic struggle. We condemn them, we shame them, and we expose their names in due course. Thank you very much.